In poker, an ace-king is affectionately called an Anakornikova, after the famous tennis player because it looks pretty, but it rarely wins. That was my initial thought walking out of the theater having seen The Long Walk. It's pretty, but is it good? Hey, I'm Mike. I studied film, I work in TV, and I love movies. The Long Walk is an adaptation of the 1979 Stephen King novel of the same name. It's directed by Francis Lawrence, who directed the Hunger Games movies. The plot is simple. Every year, tributes are selected from the various districts to participate in the Hunger Games. I mean, the boys are selected from every state to walk as a remembrance of the Great War and to serve as an example of hard work. If their pace drops below 3 miles per hour, they get a warning, and after 3 warnings, they are brutally shot on sight. The whole thing is televised to serve as an example that hard work pays off, or so we're told. I'm not sure. They kind of brush over the why pretty quickly. The Hunger Games, both in the books and the films, make a big spectacle of why the games are happening. And we buy into the ceremony of it all. We as an audience get caught up in the pageantry and believe that the games are a way to keep the districts in check. Not so in The Long Walk. In fact, we're given very little in the way of explanation of why this is being done or even how the walk is perceived from the outside world, aside from a rogue spectator or two. The film starts and almost immediately the guys are off and walking. We are exclusively focused on the guys and their journey. I'm usually on board with simple premise films with huge consequences. That's why I like Black Mirror. What if we had the ability to replay memories? What if there was a service that could bring back loved ones that had passed away? But what makes Black Mirror episodes so engaging is when that simple premise brings about the unexpected. In The Long Walk, the premise is explored and rehashed and intellectualized, and the boys come to terms with their own demise. They struggle with whether or not they should befriend one another, or should they remain alone. We see how they handle going to the bathroom or getting leg cramps. All the feels are there, but it's a very expected outcome. There's nothing that surprises us, which would make us reevaluate the situation they're in. In screenwriting, you should always be asking yourself, why are we seeing this character's journey? Ostensibly, The Long Walk has been going on for years, as were The Hunger Games, but why did Suzanne Collins, author of The Hunger Games, decide to tell us Katniss's story? Because she's the one who brought change to the system. She's the match that started a revolution. She could have told us Hamish Abernathy's story. Who is Hamish Abernathy, you might ask? He's the previous winner from Katniss's district who won and became a drunk. But she didn't, and you know why? His story's predictable. That's what The Long Walk was missing for me. A girl on fire. The Long Walk is part Stand By Me, based on another Stephen King story, and part Saving Private Ryan. The chemistry between the guys is great, but we can see from a mile away where this is going and what decisions they're going to have to make. For viewers of my channel, you know I like to look for the meaning, the themes, the message hidden within the film. I struggled while watching The Long Walk to come up with anything. What does The Long Walk represent? What are the filmmakers trying to tell us? Is it talking about the current state of America and what a future might look like under authoritarian rule? Is it about life and the friends we make along the way, only to have to say goodbye to them all before heading into the promised land? I'll keep this as a mostly spoiler-free review, but for a long while I was thinking that it might even be about getting into heaven, that the road is life and the guys are the people you meet along the way. Oh, I was going deep, but none of it was fitting just right. I started thinking about the source material. I read that this was the first novel that Stephen King wrote, although it wasn't the first he published. It was published in 1979 and was likely written or at least started years earlier during the Vietnam War. When I looked at it through the lens of a man watching his country drafting young boys to war, the film makes a whole heck of a lot more sense. The strict major, played by Mark Hamill, tells the boys to sack up, that they're men now. They make a point in the film to say, while they all volunteered, they really didn't have a choice. Just like the draft for Vietnam, which was also televised on TV. And none of them knew exactly why they were there or what purpose they were serving. Oh, and the scared public was watching them die on TV every night from the comfort of their homes. But none of this is explicitly stated in The Long Walk. I'm just bringing this to the film. And it's not that I need this to be in the movie, but far better movies have been written about the horrors of war and the camaraderie that develops between men who engage in it, by actually showing them at war. I think my read on the film is valid, but burying a message about the draft and the Vietnam War within a film in 2025 is sending a message 50 years too late. I would have much more liked to watch a film about the draft and a bunch of guys going off to Vietnam with a coded message to today's audiences about the dangers of authoritarianism and reminding us about the horrors of war. Listen, I've been talking about movies online for almost a year, and people have come into my comments and bashed me for either liking a movie that they thought was bad or disliking a movie that they thought was good. And I can already tell I'm going to get a lot of blowback from my mediocre review of The Long Walk. And all I want to say is, this is what I do. They told us on the first day of film school that people are going to hate watching movies with us now, and they were right. Film isn't black or white, it's shades of gray. I liked parts of The Long Walk. I disliked other parts. It's okay to be critical of a film you enjoy, and it's also okay to admit you like a film that has flaws. It works both ways. As always, I'd love to read your thoughts on The Long Walk in the comments below, but please remember that these are my opinions. I would love to read yours. Film is about community. I'm Mike, and I love movies.